I have made my decision, kindred. Are you ready? After dealing with our literature grad student poser with a iota of mythological and philosophical knowledge. Benoit, yes. Who turns out to be Sophie's child. I've decided I want to go back. I want to go to the weird guy hanging around Hope. No, that one. Yeah. Yeah.
That's just
Oh, sorry, that's Sophie.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's another mission entirely.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. Let's go D'Angelo. Or... No, okay. I know I said I'd have a decision, but I lied. No, let's go Hope. Let's finish this thing. I feel like maybe, yeah. Yep, let's do it. When I reach the cafe, I'm welcomed by the familiar face of the waiter who first led me inside. We exchange looks and nods. He hides his vape pen in a black back pocket.
She's been expecting you. Something happened to her car, and she hasn't exactly left her room since.
He scratches his head, shrugs, and gestures at me to follow him. It's the same route as before. First beyond the locked door at the end of the room with all the computers, then into an endless grey labyrinth. Finally, I reach a door that would look like any other to a random bystander. Of course, by now I know that Hope's haven lies beyond it. The waiter bids me adieu with an exaggerated bow and starts walking back to the cafe. I enter the familiar room. This time, the lights are on inside. Hope is inside, walking around nervously, overseeing every screen in sight. When she spots me, she wastes no time on introductions. Kara Montgomery. What do you know of her? Have I heard something?
I can't remember.
I can't remember, but maybe the game will fill in the blanks is what I'm hoping.
I remember something, I think, at court, but...
Yeah, let's just say heard something.
Yeah, heard something?
Let's go for it. You could have seen her in listicles such as Top 5 Badass Women in Tech 2018, 12 CEOs who spark innovation through empathy, or 20 entrepreneurs with mysterious ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
Uh-oh. I hope that word will not flag in YouTube.
Oh,
well, who cares?
Gosh. It's kind of like news. I don't know. I don't get to voice my answer. The question was just a minor courtesy. She's a monologue to deliver and she won't allow any interruption. 20 years ago, she was a failed .com investor. Now she's CEO of Double Spiral, a brand management startup working at the crossroads of big data and influencer culture. The quotation marks are audible, dripping with venom. Long story short, she spent years convincing her Camarilla contacts, as in out-of-touch old farts angry about smartphones, that Kindred can benefit from controlling the internet. Her IT ghouls have done a lot of research on deepfakes, AI, and machine learning. Her goal is the ability to generate thousands of believably human online accounts. Basically, an army of posters that could brute force anything into the mainstream discourse. The elders took a while to get the concept, but eventually, Kara got their blessing. The thing is, she claims her tech is ready to be tested, but it needs one final component to work properly, and that's why. She pauses. She proposed a truce. What truce? Truce? What kind of truce? The become my friend or face a violent death kind of truce. Not exactly fucking convincing if you ask me. But no matter how much I hate her guts, this is a blessing in disguise. Hear me out. She picked a public place in Manhattan, neutral ground where we can meet without the fear that the other party might just do something stupid and violate the masquerade. She wants to just talk. You will go there in my place and listen to her terms. We won't accept them, of course, especially not after she just tried to kill us. You will just steal her voice and walk away. Steal her voice? Yeah. What next? Will you trade her mermaid tail for legs? A Disney joke? Sweet. What next? Will he hit me with a topical Harry Potter reference?
Yes.
Very topical. Jeez. I'm not trying to be obtuse here. Wait a second and let me explain my plan. You see, there is only one way to even the odds. We have to hit Kara where it hurts, and she's only got one weak point: double spiral headquarters. Kara's the only person there with access to every room. The security is something she came up with herself, voice-based but based on different password phrase every time. That means just recording her talking is not enough if we want to get in. That's why I started selling illicit materials to people with access to advanced deep-fake audio technology. I've got it right in this room. Now all I need is a sample base that will allow me to manufacture a bot that talks like her. To monitor data, I need to stay behind. Still, I think the plan is pretty simple. You talk to her while wearing a wire, I process the recordings here to steal her voice, and voila, she's wide open. Then we invade Double Spiral and destroy it from within. The evil is defeated. I become a part of your crew. Happy ending for everybody. How does that sound to you? Will she even... You know what? I'm with you, Hope. Let's just dive straight down into the crazy. Sounds fun. Sounds fun. Happy to hear it. Hope shakes her head and claps her hands. When she speaks up, she sounds different, more spaced out, stuttering. Alright, let me fix you up with the hardware. She hands you a minuscule earpiece and starts attaching a small decorative pin to my clothes, along with some masked wiring. It's a directional microphone. I can clear up the audio later, but keeping it pointed directly at Kara as much as possible, alright? I put on the earpiece she gave me. It fits snugly deep inside my right ear. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The hardware works flawlessly and the audio quality seems great. I give Hope an affirmative sign with my head. I nod. Beautiful. Kara designated the meeting place as the Vessel. You've heard about the place, right? It's right by the eastern end of the Lincoln Tunnel. A giant pile of staircases, basically impossible to miss. Manhattan's answer to the Eiffel Tower, or a gaudy monument to being only ever so slightly free, depending on who you ask. I drive you there, but my car is still in the shop, and I don't want to risk being spotted by Kara's people, and I need to process the voice data from here. Which means I have a perfectly acceptable number of excuses for not letting myself get anywhere close to that demonic old hag. I involuntarily roll my eyes a little bit. Hope sits in front of her screens, pretending not to have noticed. So, should we get this show on the road or what? Ready whenever you are. No sense lingering here. I get back to the street and find my car. Wrapping up this show as quickly as possible sounds like a good idea. Around 30 minutes later, I'm in front of the Vessel. Hope's description, a giant pile of staircases, wasn't particularly helpful. From the distance, the building looks more like a giant honeycomb, designed to swarm with tourist bees. At least during the day, that is. At the moment, the place is closed to general public. A few men who look vaguely threatening and out of place are making sure nobody unwanted gets in. However, I have no problem getting up the stairs. All it takes is an exchange of knowing glances with one of the guards. I am expected. A lone figure appears in my sight, staring down at the streets of Manhattan. You know, city people often complain about being unable to see the starry skies, but I always thought the real tragedy was how they're unable to appreciate the man-made sea of lights that surrounds them. You can teach people a lot of things, but you can't teach them to see, huh? I recognize the face from Hope's phone. Finally, I meet Kara Montgomery in the flesh. She turns to me, puts on a wide smile, and shakes my hand with a firm grip. First, a representative of Sophie Langley, now a representative of Hope. Not the way I developed my own career, but I gotta say, not many neonates get around the way you do.
Neonate, a young kindred, recently embraced, but more than a fledgling.
I'm moving up in the world, baby.
I would add, terms can be used interchangeably by everyone.
Right.
Because age is relative.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. Hardy fucking har. Hope speaks up in your ear for the first time, seething with contempt. Although Kara couldn't possibly have heard her, she immediately goes on to address her absence. Can't say I expected her to actually arrive here with you, or instead of you. On the other hand, I'm sure every single word I say will be instantly relayed to her. And for the first time in forever, your empty blabbering will serve an actually useful cause. So let me make sure we cut out everyone but the middleman for a while, okay? She takes out her phone and taps the touch screen. In a few seconds, the barely perceptible buzzing sound in my ear disappears completely. Oh, fuck. I can't hear Hope anymore. It's probable she can't hear my voice right now either, which would mean she must be busy raging and cursing out everything in her sight at the moment. This obviously wasn't something she expected to happen. Could it be that Kara saw through your plan? I have to play it cool and see what happens next. Knowing Hope, you've probably heard whatever scraps can be Googled about me and a pile of insults for good measure. Obviously, I know everything there is to be known about you as well, Ellen. I don't believe we have a need for formal introductions, but first off, let me apologize for the discomfort my former employee has caused you. I wasn't remotely aware of his planned actions against Hope. I fully condemned them. I'm glad to see you unharmed, and, of course, applaud your swift disposal of the psycho. Langley chose you well. Brief silence. So let me cut to the chase here and present myself the best way I know how, through my ideas. Who do you think has a monopoly on reality? Not much for small talk, is she? Who do you think has a monopoly on reality? Corporations. Sadly, yeah.
That's what you want to go with?
Yep. Corporations do. That's a fairly typical answer. Very 21st century sounding. Have they succeeded in replacing the state here, though? She signals to someone behind me. For a while, I've been watched by Kara's men who circle around the staircases, presumably her ghouls. One of them sets off downstairs. You know, Bolivia just had a military coup. Hundreds of new accounts posting about nothing but Bolivian politics in English set out to convince every random person online that the US wasn't to blame. Sloppy work, if you ask me. Now imagine this, a 17-year-old K-pop fan from Ohio writing an entire thread about her relatives in La Paz are actually glad the president is gone. A film reviewer with a side interest in politics selling you a CIA-approved narrative about Evo Morales, an approachable fitness guy explaining the situation to you in simple terms, just like it is. Animated voice, expressive gestures, and steady eye contact. She's taught herself how to project a good image, but isn't a natural yet. At times, it feels as if she's screaming at me to trust her. It's not hard to emulate the masses. Reach out to one of those Eastern European troll farms and bang! A few hours later, you have a clone army that will instantly voice their support for any cause. You will spread your message, but you won't foster a new culture that serves your goals, won't masquerade your messaging as independent thought. For that, you need personalities, not the masses. But the ability to emulate personalities, a whole different ballgame. Not a craft, but an art. You need to understand your fabrication so deeply that you start to hate it and then learn to love it. And if you want to make a bunch of those personalities follow one agenda, you need a once-in-a-lifetime team to achieve that. A like-minded artistic collective, both ambitious and obedient. Even though I can't hear Hope's voice in my ear right now, I could swear I hear her in Kara's speech. It's the exact same tone she was using when monologuing in the car. One of them must have been a big influence on another. Or perhaps they used to be in a position where they both shaped each other's personas. Hard to say. Only one thing is for sure. And that is, Hope must be absolutely furious right now. Is it possible that Kara knew about her plot? Fingers crossed she doesn't. The state is satisfied when an account that went unused for 5 years suddenly starts yelling imperialist propaganda into the void. The aging corporations are too set in their ways. But imagine a fresh startup that enables the proliferation for ideas adjacent to the prince's plan for the future. Now imagine it getting into bed with the biggest corporations and agencies. So many unlives that could be improved or even saved from the raids of First Light. I have the infrastructure. I have the elders' support. All I need now is a mastermind at the center of it all. Hope. Yeah, that's who she means. Yeah. Yes, Hope. She looks down and takes in the scenery below for a while. Then she points at her t-shirt, the one piece of clothing that clashes with the rest of her outfit. I was going to say, like, why the anarchist punk, like, you know, posing. You know, I'm a huge fan of punk. The leading idea of my company, Double Spiral, is to make everything I do a little bit punk. I'm all about clashing ideas. I'm all about disruption. I blink a few times in quick succession. Oh God, I think to myself, she's that kind of person. I saw a lot of them in my old life. Another deluded executive who thinks they're on a mission from higher powers, insufferable during meetings, probably did ayahuasca and can't shut up about it, always desperate to come off as cool. I collect myself and escape from memory lane. Kara's started talking about hope, so I better listen. To me, hope is as punk as it gets. A free spirit, fiercely independent, an eternal contrarian at odds with everything and everyone, developing her talents just because she finds it joyful. But God, does this girl need guidance? Not putting her talents to better use, rotting away, posting inane bullshit all the time. What a waste. I've built an environment specifically to develop her talents and let her become indispensable to our society, but she rejects it because of some idiotic hang-ups. I don't expect you to change your mind about me just because I keep yapping and yapping. I just hope that you'll keep my perspective in mind and serve as the voice of reason Hope really needs right now. Now that I've had my say, how about we put our girl back on? And she taps on her phone again. A quiet buzz reappears in my right ear. You're bluffing. Yeah. This is a better safe than sorry kind of thing, isn't it? There's no one listening in. Maybe you're right. Maybe not. She's 100 years too early to even think of accessing my comms. She's bullshitting you. Don't sell her anything but bullshit in return. Look who's back. Don't worry. She should have heard everything. I just wanted to spare you an annoying commentary track while I introduce myself. Excuse me for a second. One of Kara's guards approaches to show her something on his phone. Hope uses the distraction to get you up to speed with how things are on her side. Yeah, for a second there I was about to rage that the hag had gotten the better of us, but hey, go figure, she just wanted to take a piss in my Cheerios. The plan worked. I have a lot of data from her monologuing and some private sources, but the more we gather, the better. This display here says some more K letters could be useful. So, don't beat yourself up about it if you fail, but if you get her to repeat something with a K in it, that might improve our deepfake voice. Looks like Kara's done talking to the guard. Sorry about that. Looks like I've got to attend a sudden meeting with a Google representative shortly. Hope snorts. Not bragging, though. By the way, does anyone but Hope know about this little rendezvous? My patron? Any other companion? Or maybe the Nosferatu? Oh, that's meant to be her, right? That's meant to be Kara. Right?
I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
I'm not quite sure. I'm going to presume. Let's check the log. Okay, great.
Oh no, it's me asking myself. It's the game asking me.
Yeah, I mean it might be, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a prompt, like in one of those like. You did this beforehand, and now I don't know.
Yeah. My patron.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Nobody. Nobody. Yeah, nobody.
Okay,
Nobody.
it was her.
It's just us. Should I have told anyone? Was it? That's whack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, patch community. Modding community. Jump on that.
Maybe. Maybe not. It just says a lot about your personality, that's all. Anyway, no offense, but since Hope's not here, I really have to rush. Honestly, I feel a little insulted she'd set up this meeting and didn't even bother to show up. Insulted and suspicious, her tone of voice betrays her. She might have some good instincts. Too bad she didn't trust them here. Still, out of respect for Langley, I decided to have this talk with you. To explain to you why I'm an asset to the Camarilla, and to explain why the elders need Hope by my side. What the worm-brained hag here forgot to mention is that the elders don't give a shit about me. Even if you don't see it my way now, I believe I've sown some seeds here that might sprout in the near future. Double Spiral looks out for people who look out for it, is all I'm saying. But before I leave, there's one thing I really wish I knew. Back when I knew her, she was a different person. Or different people, depending on how you look at it. Why does she fight against me so much? What's her motivation to resist so much? What's her motivation? Good question. She's never shared it with me. Answer what you want, but A, you better lie through your teeth. B, get her to say V a few times if you can. It might improve a few shortcomings of our deepfake software. What's my answer? Oh shit, I forgot what the question was. Can you get in the chat log? Why does she fight against her so much? Okay. Survival. Kara snorts. Spare me. If she wanted to keep pulling through, she'd have a much better chance by my side. Pride or spite would be far more believable as an answer. Should have told me you either don't know or don't trust me. Survival. V times 2. Good attempt at least. I should have done love. Damn it. I knew they were ex-girlfriends, but I thought that would, piss off Hope if I hit too close to the truth. One of Kara's people erupts with a theatrical cough. Kara gestures at him to calm down. I really need to go now. See you around, Ellen. She begins to walk down the stairs, surrounded by her guards. When she's gone from before my eyes, Hope decides to summarize my mission. For the love of Christ, wish you could have kept her droning on for a little longer. Turns out the T letter could have used some improvements as well. Not complaining though, you did good, and don't worry, the data that I have should be more than enough to generate a convincing deepfake. I just need to put in some more work. So I guess I'll get to that right away. Enjoy the rest of your night. Drop my hardware at your haven when you get the chance. I'll let you know when we're ready to hit Kara's base of operations. Pray for my success, sweetie, and I might be done soon. Maybe even tomorrow. And once we're done with her, we'll talk about how I can repay your generosity. Amen. The connection drops. It looks like that's all for now. I gaze at the sea of lights around me for the last time, and then start making my way back to street level. Whew! Lordy.
Time to rest.
I think so, yeah. That was a lot. Kadir al-Asami, the sheriff of New York City, is knocking at the door to my haven. The sight comes as more than a little shocking. If he had business with me, I'd either expect to see him already inside, or never see him coming at all. Yet there he is, on the other side of the peephole, patiently and politely waiting for me to let him in. I carefully unlock the door and face him in silence.
Evening. May I come in?
I simply stare at him. My lack of an answer doesn't faze him, and my lack of resistance as he starts walking inside has obviously been interpreted as permission. Once inside, he starts looking around as I cautiously stay by the door.
Haven't really had time to make this place your own yet, have you? feels like Langley's apartment through and through. A secluded study where nobody studies anything. Look at the books on this shelf. Obviously meant to impress guests, not to be read. They reveal nothing about their owner, aside from the aching desire to be taken seriously as an intellectual.
He picks one of them and smirks before putting it away.
The
Phenomenology?
The phenomenology of spirit, thanks to all this garbage poetry. We can take a bet. If she's read more than 20 pages, I owe you $50 and a gallon of blood. The kind of place that self-professed hermits entomb themselves in to suffer. Considering how much you have to run around these nights, you probably only use it for shelter from the sun and rest, right?
Even though he's obviously making an effort to come off as non-threatening, it's impossible to forget the first impression he made. I still see him as a fierce predator, trying hard not to expose his true colours. I sense a familiar fight-or-flight response as I struggle to find a diplomatic answer to his last question. If Kadir is bothered by my silence, he doesn't let it show. He keeps walking around, toying with whatever catches his eye. Eventually, he speaks up again.
Watch any baseball lately? If I had to guess, you strike me as a Red Sox fan.
Now he's inviting me to talk in a more direct manner. I attempt to overcome my physical reaction to him and reply as casually as I can. The middle one. My mind keeps going back to that night when everything was changed forever. Waking up in hell with a body next to me, spending a night in that underground sweatbox unsure what will happen next, that endless car ride, 3 strikes, a bloodthirsty crowd, that blade. A rebirth, baptism by fire, a frightening executor who made sure the flames scarred my spirit. As I look into his face, I realize he's read the emotions from mine.
Not in the mood to exchange pleasantries.
Why are you such a dick, dude? There's no animosity in his voice. He's just stating a fact.
Let me get straight to the point then.
He momentarily stops caring about his surroundings, turning all of his attention to me and demanding the entirety of my attention in return.
You see, there's something I've realized over the years. In large part, I may have been hired just to look menacing with a sword, but my job is all about seeing through bonds and relationships. The Camarilla would be safe as long as its members adhered to certain social contracts, making their dealings and affinities plain for everyone to see, but that, obviously, remains a pipe dream. This is a community of born conspirators, overly ambitious gangsters and politicians, monsters in denial, all sorts of tragically broken individuals. They are driven by desires that make them incompatible with the Masquerade, incompatible with prolonged survival of the Camarilla, incompatible with the methods I use to operate. And so, I am doomed to be like a cop, constantly insulted behind my back, maybe for a good reason, but immediately called for help whenever someone loses their tableware. Or like an Agatha Christie protagonist, outwardly assisted by everyone, but constantly lied to about everyone's pasts and motivations, even if my failure to solve the mystery might be the end of us all.
He tries to sound like he's peacefully resigned to his fate, but it's easy to detect a tinge of regret in his voice, a voice belonging to someone who once had bigger ambitions than this. What broke him?
So you see, for this detective, the whodunit, or the why-done-it, is more important than the whodunit or how-done-it. When you understand all the players and their mutual obligations, you easily understand every crime. But of course, the kindred know it, so they devise ways to make my job much harder, just like conspiracies between two unrelated actions that depend on scratching each other's backs for mutual security. Or they enforce a blood bond to make someone unexpected their thrall. A boss serving their employee, a rebel serving a tyrant, just because one is regularly being forced to drink another's blood. Blood
Blood
bond.
bond.
A mystically enforced relationship between a vampire and another, mortal or kindred. Drinking the blood of a vampire directly from the veins 3 times creates an intense loyalty in the drinker, resembling infatuation or obsession. The bond loses its grip with time, but is reinforced by repeated drinks from the donor vampire. I know about bonds losing their grip with time.
As in you?
Because it's my last name and, I don't know, hands or whatever. Grip on reality. It's starting
I thought that was
already.
your way of saying, like, we'd overshot for an episode.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
You gotta be careful with
fine.
your playful segues, Chris.
My playful
Otherwise,
banters.
I'll be ready to exit this episode.
What has Sophie seen in you? Why does the prince keep asking me about your actions? How come you're being pushed to build your own coterie so fast? You are surrounded by unclear motivations which you yourself don't understand. That unnerves me, and it should unnerve you as well.
Maybe you should just, like, chill out, dude. You unnerve me. It is you who unnerves me. You've made one hell of a first impression, and a second, and a third impression. Finally, I managed to raise my voice. Kadir notices the effort and smiles softly.
Just rearranging my microphone.
Like, he pretends like, oh, woe is me. But it's like, surely you get off on being the sheriff. Or, you know, whatever. You made some decision that led to you being the sheriff now, and you want to be a prick about it. So, you know.
So you haven't gone mute since the last time I saw you. Good.
Oh, fuck off.
Well, I'm here for a selfish reason. I need to develop a rapport with you to better fulfill my obligations.
Well, then maybe. Don't be a prick to me. Like...
The last time we met, I couldn't see you as my equal. Now that you've been accepted into the Camarilla, what choice do I have? I'd understand if you didn't want to see my face again, but I'm one of the faces of the New York City community, and as long as you're part of it, it's going to be impossible to avoid me. Especially when I have business with you, and I do. As you might have guessed by now, one of my tasks is uncovering and understanding your bonds, and one of them might endanger our community.
Well, that's not menacing at all. Who is he talking about? Well, I don't want to say anything, because I don't want him to know anything I know. I don't like this guy. Sophie? Let's just go for that. Is this about Sophie? Kadir shakes his head.
Sophie's fine. She's plotting something big. I know it, and she knows I know it. But she's treading carefully, as she should. No, they're not a major player.
He produces a file from underneath his coat and passes it to me.
This is our troublemaker.
I open the file and see some printed photos. I freeze up as I recognize the face and are overwhelmed by a flood of repressed memories. Sorry. I could have just think of Seinfeld. It was fun. Benjamin Newman. The asshole who made the last few years of my life a living hell. The sexual harassment, the mobbing, the way he kept delegating all his obligations to me without ever letting me reap the fruits of my labor. The way he stole my soul. Goddamn prick. I look up at Kadir, expecting answers.
Apparently, your company is in trouble. Lots of financial irregularities, and Mr. Newman is all too happy to testify that one employee who just suddenly disappeared is to blame. The story is as fishy as it gets. Your disappearance is being investigated, and a lot of people are searching for you. It attracts attention to us, and as such, it must be stopped.
Must be stopped sounds threatening. I dread thinking what he's planning.
I'll arrange for you to meet tomorrow so that you can straighten the situation out and say goodbye to the life you've forsaken.
He'll arrange what? My eyes must look like saucers right now.
Usually these matters are left to my discretion, and I can't think of an easier solution. The lost sheep reappears, takes care of unfinished business, and disappears. Never to be seen again. Nobody cares. It's simple, it's clean, no contrived schemes, no unnecessary victims. And it gives me an opportunity to learn more about you as I observe. When neonates interact with kind they used to hold dear, Their true natures are laid bare for everyone to see.
The fuck? I don't want you to know more about me. Of course he's invested in being kind to me, or he's making clear his self-serving intentions so that I don't start figuring them out myself.
Any objections?
Yeah. Like, ugh.
You hate him.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's justified with his behavior. Like, you know, I don't walk around being a condescending prick to me, and just because he's in a position of authority does not give him the right to do that. So I don't like the whole, oh, woe, it's me, I'm just a little sheriff at the beck and call of everyone. It's like, it's clear he's lavishing any of the, like, perks he gets from being an authority figure. Anyway.
What if I told you that he's a fan favourite? For a particular subset of the fan who think he's very cute.
Wow. Well, y'all will hate me anyway. Look, I'm not, like,
Ellen, I agree with you 100%.
We're all bad people, but, like, you know, this just ain't my brand of bad. How about that?
What's your
Byronic literature pose of fuckboys, apparently.
Yeah.
No, you know what my real type is?
Hope.
Especially these guys. Yeah. Just crazy. Just real, nutty, typically pretty anarchist, hot,
yeah,
alternative,
Malks.
tattoos. Yeah.
Malks. All Malks. Very well. I'll arrange a meeting and drive you there tomorrow. Better come up with a load of bull that's easy to swallow.
He disappears from the apartment, leaving me as confused as the last time he closed the door on me. God damn it. I need to think this through. For a long time, I just sit in my haven, lost in my thoughts, thinking about how revenge is a dish best served cold. Interesting.
Well, we will find out what our action is on the next episode.
Yes. Don't at me, people in the comments.
No,
or,
do.
you know what? Do. Yeah.
Do.
Alright. I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah.
Talk shit, get hit.
It's that time where we're like, 10 or 12 episodes into the series. A lot of people who watch our stuff aren't subscribed to our channel. It would be nice if you did.
It'd be real nice.
If you don't want to, that's also okay.
Yeah.
Thank you if you do.
But it don't cost nothing. So
It helps us a lot. And we've been getting a lot of people subscribing for our vampire content. If you want us to do more of that.
Yeah. Or, you know.
Or if you don't.
Or if you want us to do whatever, we'll literally
just
like...
write it in the comments.
Yeah, we're literally at your beck and call. We'll do whatever you want.
We're like a neonate. And you are our elder.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Think of that, what you will.
There's been talk of more visual novels. There's been talk of Fall Guys. There's been talk of party games.
Has there been talk of Ellen doesn't fucking know how to play a video game?
The video games that are easy for Ellen. So, yeah, lots of different stuff. But, you know, we do podcasts as well.
Yeah.
We have a Vampire the Masqurade playthrough and Cyberpunk. So, anyway, enough spruiking.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.